Hi guys, welcome to Digital Tech Join. I hope everybody's doing good, and I really thanks and appreciate the response that I got from my recent tutorial on building a fully functional blog application using ASP.NET MVC with the latest .NET Framework 9. Now, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to generate CAPTCHA using your own .NET code, okay, and prevent any automated bots from exploiting your application, okay, by doing brute force attacks or account takeover or other malicious activity that could compromise your data and privacy. Now, basically, CAPTCHA, I'll just show it to you before we get into the practical. Here is a simple application that I created. It's basically a registration form where we have the username, company name, mobile, email. And here you can see this is a 4-digit CAPTCHA code that I generated using the .NET code, which actually validates whether the user is a human and not a automated bot. Now, when we don't have this captcha, what is going to happen is that through some mechanism or through bot action, the hacker can continuously feed in this information, okay, leading to a brute force attack or DOS attack into your application, whereby leading to denial of service. So, in order to prevent that, we have enabled this captcha, and you can see captcha will be seen in most of the forms or application that prevent such action. Now, basically, we also do have something called reCAPTCHA. Now, reCAPTCHA is slightly, it is same, definitely it is same as CAPTCHA. I can just show it to you right over here. Ready? So what is reCAPTCHA? Basically, it's the same, like the purpose is the same. However, it is specific to Google developed services that implement this technology, often using more advanced method and user experience enhancement. So now there could be scenarios where you want to use a more advanced feature. We can do that because it provides you score based validation. It also provides you challenge based validation. So that all feature, if you want, you can definitely use reCAPTCHA. Now, what I'm going to do is that first I'll show you how to implement a custom captcha, and then in my next video, basis on your comments and views, if somebody wants me to develop a video tutorial on how to implement reCAPTCHA, definitely I'll do that. Also, reCAPTCHA basically it's like, you can see this all these features over here, and reCAPTCHA is free for certain limit of its, and then it's chargeable. But definitely you can see how that we can implement it, and in .NET, and we can take the advantage of Google's specific service as well. But as of now, we will focus on generating 4-digit captcha code from the .NET code. So you can also refresh and you can get the new numbers as well. So this is what we are going to do in our .NET tutorial today. So let's get started. Let me open Visual Studio and create a new project. I'm going to select ASP.NET MVC Core application, click on next. I'm going to say captcha demo, and this is a path that the project, you can select your own path wherever you want to save the project. We are going to select .NET 9.0, and for now I'm going to just untick configure for HTTPS and click on create. The first thing we are going to do is that add that necessary NuGet package. Since we are going to generate our own bitmap and image or capture image, what I'm going to do is that install the package, and the package that we need to install is system.drawing.common. So I'm just going to click on browse and say system drawing. So once we type in system.drawing, you can see the system.drawing common library is displayed. We'll select the latest one, that is 900, and click on install. So it is getting installed. Okay, so and you can check on the system, it's already installed. So once this is installed, let's go ahead and create the model required to create the registration form. So I'm going to right click on the model folder and click on class and select, give the name as registration. So this will be my registration class. And now this registration class will have certain properties. So I'm going to define some properties like ID for, then I'm going to say string for name, then prop. This will be email. sorry, this will be email, then prop, then string. This is just for a common registration mobile, and then finally, yes, that's it. These three fields we can add it. We can also have company, like organization. So we can say company. Okay. So these are the properties that I've created in my model class. Now, once this is done, then we will go ahead and use the existing default home controller to add a code. So here I'm going to do in the index. So this is the index and the view is already right over here. So if you want, I'll just remove the confusion. Let me create a controller so that everybody's it's clear to everybody. Let's select an empty controller and I'm going to say remove this one and click on registration. Okay, so here I've created a control called registration and this is the index. Now right click on this and say add view, empty view, and here we will say index. So this is now my index. Now here I'm going to create a form and save it. So I'll just paste the view code. This is a simple code, a view code, razor page code. So basically here I'm added that model registration that I created. And then this is nothing but our properties that I've defined. And now basis that I've created a registration error. And this is the form. So you can see this is a form action method is register. Now we have not created this action method. We will create that and that method will post, and this is simple form addition, like the name that I've defined, that is name over here, then the company, then the mobile. Okay, and then we have the email. Okay, so once you submit this, we will call this action register method. Now we have not created the registration method. We'll go ahead and run this application and we'll be able to see the registration form. So I've not created the link over here, so I just call the registration form. So here you can see a simple registration form is displayed. But here, when I click on submit, obviously the registration method is not there. So first thing we are going to go do is that just replace that in the home screen, that is in the shared layout. I'm going to just make a change over here on the home page. So this will be my registration. So I'm going to click on rename home to registration. And this will be indexed, but this won't be home, this will be registration. Cool. I'll just run it once again. Here you can see registration. Now you're able to see. Now here you need to add the CAPTCHA. Now for that, let's create a method in our controller registration, and let us create a method which will actually generate a CAPTCHA code. So now this will be a get method. So I'm going to say HTTP get, and this will be public action result generate CAPTCHA. Okay, this will be try catch. We will add exception over here. Sorry, EX. So this is now within the try block, we are going to add the actual code. So basically, let's write the code over here to generate the image. So I'm going to select random 4-digit number. You can also generate a 6-digit, and where random, and see new random. Okay. Then after that, we are going to say string captcha text, and here I'm going to use a variable above random dot next 4-digit thousand, and so this will generate unique 4-digit code. After that, once this code is generated, I need to save that into my session. Now, in order to save it in the session, because we are going to generate the image and not save it physically, but keep that image on the in memory. So we need to also use session. So for that, we are just going to program And just below builders.build, I'm going to use session. So this will be builders.services.add session. And obviously, once we have added, we need to use it. So right above here, I'm going to say app.use session. So once that is done, I'm going back to my registration control. And here, once the captcha code 4 digit is generated, I'm going to save it in my session. So this will be http text dot session dot set string. This will be the name of the session. There will be captcha code and this text that is generated above. So once that's done, we're going to create the captcha image dynamically. For that, we are going to use the below code using var bitmap, using var bitmap equals to new bitmap. These are some parameters to generate the image of a standard size. Then using var graphics dot from image, and we're going to pass the above variable. Here we're going to set certain properties, that is clear, and this will be my white color. And then we're going to also set properties for font using var brush, sorry, var font, first font, and this will be new font. We're going to say Arial, and this will be size, and then font style, which will be bold. After that, we are going to use var brush, new solid brush, and this will be color black. Finally, we are going to say graphics or drawstring, capture text, which will be a number, font that we have set, brush, and then this with the dimension. So now since we have the image over here, now we want to convert that image into byte array. So using var stream equals to new memory stream, and then we're going to say bitmap dot save. This will be the stream image format dot png. So we are not getting the image format. Let me just see what's the issue, because we must be missing. Yes, so using system drawing imaging that you have not added. So it's got added now right over here. So now we have also saved that format as PNG. After that, we are going to say stream dot c from the 0 position again, the origin dot begin, and finally we are going to return file stream dot to array, and main type you're going to set as image.png. So this is a code that will actually return the captcha image with the text. And obviously there's an exception. So we are going to return the exception as return content error generating captcha dot message. So this is a very self-explanatory code. But however, basically the code that I've written over here, you can see the code that is written over here, okay, is basically converting the image into a byte array and return it as a downloadable PNG file in the web application. So we are declaring a memory stream, and using the memory stream, our object is created to hold the image data in memory. And the using syntax ensures that the stream will be properly diagnosed of disposed of once no longer needed. Then we are saving the image to the stream. So bitmap.save stream and image format. What are we basically doing over here is the bitmap.save method is used to save the image, that is bitmap, into a memory stream object. And image format.png specifies that the image should be saved in the PNG format. This method essentially converts the image into a byte stream that can be used later. Finally, we are resetting the stream position. After saving the image, the position of the stream pointer is set back to the beginning using stream.seek, that is over here, and passing 0 and seek origin.begin. This is necessary because the stream position could have moved to the end of the stream after saving the image. We need to reset it to ensure that when the byte array is read from the stream, it starts from the beginning. And finally, the code stream.to array converts the content of the memory stream into a byte array. And typically, the file method is used to send the byte array as a downloadable file with a MIME type as image and PNG. And this typically occurs in the web application where the file method is a part of MVC framework and the user will be prompted to download the image as a PNG file. So this is the code explanation that I've written. This is a simple code. You can do tweaking, increase the font size, change the font color, generate instead of 4 digit, generate a 6 digit. You can also generate an alphanumerical number. Everything is possible. This code is can be further enhanced as per your requirement. So once we have this method over here, generate captcha, we'll just rebuild one to ensure that there's no error. I'm just going to right click and say rebuild. Yes, the rebuild is successfully happened. So the next step is that we need to call this generate captcha method in our index where the form is loaded. So I'm just going to call it over here. But this will not help us to view that code because we have not placed the placeholder in the form. So obviously you will not be able to see anything. So we need to add the placeholder. So let's go ahead and add the placeholder over here. So let's go to the view, that is registration view, and right over here after the email I'm going to space and I'm going to add the placeholder over here. So let's see how the placeholder is in action. So now we are going to add a class over here. So basically I'm just going to copy this class below and change the inside code over here. So this is my div class. The first thing I'm going to do is create a label class, and this will be my form label. This is a form label class, and this will be enter captcha. Okay, we can say code. So once this is designed, we are going to now add an image tag and give it an ID called captcha image, and this will be source will be at the rate URL dot action and we are going to call the generate, that is the one that we created, this code. Go to index, copy this generate captcha, and we're going to say this will be my registration. So this is my controller. Close the bracket. Okay, and this is my captcha, all text. So now this code will generate. So this is one code to display the label, and this code will generate. I'll just run this project now just to see the captcha displayed in action. I click on this, and here you can see the captcha is declared. Enter the code, enter the captcha code, and here you can see the captcha got successfully generated. If you wish, we can just debug this code right now. So now once I click on that, the code gets called, and this is the code that I written. So this is a random number, and here you can see the it's randomly generated, and then we are storing that into a session. Now we're creating an image out of this. Okay, and we are using the memory. This is the stream that got generated, and finally we have this byte array over here that returns the image. So once this is code is executed, you will see, yeah, it's generated over here. I have not put a breakpoint over here. I'll do that. Sorry, BR over there. Next line, it should be printed in next line. So I'm just putting a BR over here. Now once this is done, capture is displayed. Our next action is to also give option to user to refresh the captcha. So for that, I'm going to say button and type, this will be button, and then on click, I'm going to call a method called refresh captcha. Now we need to write this method, and we'll name this button as refresh. Okay, and then let's also add a text box, input type text, and allow user to enter the captcha. Name is captcha code, and then we have the class as form controller, and this will be m2 margin, and this will be required. So now we're going to just run this application, and we will not be able to use refresh captcha because that method is still not created. I'll just create that in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to remove this breakpoint. Okay, now you can see we have the captcha, we have the captcha values, we have a refresh button, and we have the value to be saved. But refresh will not work because I have not created a script. So what I'm going to do is that go to index and add the script to refresh, and we're going to use this method. So for adding script in your view, I'm going to say iterate section script, then script tag and function, func function. Just copy paste the function name, and here I'm going to say document dot get element by id. Now this is the element by id, that is captcha, right? So this one is captcha image, which I'm going to call, and dot sr source action. I'm going to use the same method over here, this one. We're going to copy this. So source, remove this double quotes over here. And when this is taking new dot date, get time. So what is this code doing? It is for fetching, it is actually fetching the ID that is captcha image, and then it is executing. So either it is missing over here, either URL, action, generate code, registration, and then you're appending the date time as well. So this is a code that actually will generate the code. Let us now refresh it and click on the refresh button, and we should be able to see new numbers the moment we click. Okay, so now there's an issue. Let me find out. Let's inspect this console. So uncode reference is not defined. Refresh CAPTCHA. Okay, here is the generate method, generate CAPTCHA, URL action, comma, registration. This is a controller, and like this question mark plus new date and get time. Let me embed it. This is the ID. This is also proper. Let me run the application once again. Console. Import reference error. Refresh capture is not defined. At HTML on click. ID on click. Okay, wait. Let me just check. Button type is button, and this is on click and refresh. So I have defined this, but still it says it's not defined. Once again, let us check now. Still no success. Let me check the code. So guys, I figured out what was the issue. I'll just show it to you what was it. It was a very simple issue. So basically when you load the and when you click, it was not refreshing because the method that I've used. So here you can see what I'm using the same code over here to generate the code, but here I'm generating the code once the user clicks on the refresh button. So while I was doing that, there is a method. I'm actually appending the date and time. So I was using new dot date. So it's a new space date and get date time. Now you must be wondering why I'm appending this date and time, that is seconds, to this code, because I want to ensure that whenever the browser does not catch the captcha image that we generated, and to ensure that each time the user clicks on the refresh button, it loads this fresh captcha image. So that is the reason actually I'm tricking the browser and adding the millisecond date and millisecond to the URL. So that is the reason I'm adding it over here. So once this is done, I should be now able to generate the captcha code once the user clicks on the refresh button. So here is the registration form now. And when I click on this, you can see the code is now getting generated. Fine. So now let us now go to our registration controller and now add the code to basically method for registration. So when you click on the registration index, there is a action method called register. We are going to use the same method and generate the code which will validate the captcha, and if it is not valid, it will throw an error message. Let's go back to a controller, registration controller, and add the post method over here. So I'm going to write http post public async task action result register. So this is my method register. Okay, and now this will have parameters. The first is registration object, that is our entity reg details, comma. Then we'll have to add the string capture code. This should match to our index that we created. So here we'll have the ID capture code over here. So ID input text, and this is capture code. This is the capture code. Ensure that we have defined as capture code, and then we are going to start our code. So here we are going to first say temp data, and we are going to define the temp data called error. So if there's an error, it will show. As of now, this will be null. Then we are going to validate if string dot is null, white space reg details dot name, or string dot is null, white space reg details dot email. Okay, so if I'm going to say temp data, if anyone is empty, I'm going to say name and email cannot be empty. Okay, and then I'm going to redirect, return, redirect to action. This will be index, and this will be our controller, that is registration. Okay, so since we are defining the temp error message over here, I think so we should go to the index page and right above the registration, add the code over here. So we are going to say br tag and say if temp data and say error is not equals to null. Say give class alert, alert hyphen danger, or it's alert hyphen danger at the rate temp data and display the error which was saved in the controller class. So we can define something called as success as well. So this will be temp data success, and here instead of alert this will be success, and then we are going to display the success over here. So that we are going to do in the controller class. Here we'll come back over here and then write the further code. Okay, so once that's done, we now going to validate our captcha. String stored CAPTCHA, and we are going to retrieve that from our HTTP context dot session get string our name CAPTCHA code. So we have to retrieve it from here and then validate if string dot is null or space empty, or you can say string null or empty, basically stored captcha, that is retrieve, and stored captcha is not equals to our captcha that is passed in the parameters. Then we are going to say that this is an invalid captcha entered by the user. So temp data, let's copy this. Captcha is incorrect. Please try again. And then we are going to redirect back to our index where the error message will be displayed. And if it is success, that is, we have to use success this time, and we are going to print a message, captcha successfully validated. And then redirect to our index. So our code is ready. Let's put a breakpoint over here and see things in action. Here the form is ready. Now we can refresh. Now I'm going to just add name, company, mobile, email. And now here if I enter a wrong captcha and click on, so first step, I'm going to enter anything and click on register. It say please enter, fill out the form. If I enter a wrong captcha, click on register. So now let's see how the wrong captcha works. So here you can see this is a number that is stored 8280. Now obviously this is not matching, and then you should be able to see the error message as well. CAPTCHA enter is incorrect. Now let us enter a proper name, company, mobile. This time we are going to just put a proper validation, that is 2857. Click on register and we should be validated this time. Okay, 2857, we click on registration. Why is taking so much of time? Let me just check. Okay, we click on registration. Lex company, mobile, alex@yahoo.com, enter 2060, and we click on registration. Yes, its breakpoint is called. Now this time it will be validated. I think so it's correct, and now you see capture successfully validated. So great. With this we complete the code tutorial for generating custom captcha and implementing in our form. Now if you remember, last week I had launched a project tutorials on, I've created a full-fledged blog in ASP.NET. You can see that right now that it's over here. So I'm going to give you an assignment. I'll just run this project. And in this, I'd created a complete blog application where you can create a post and you can click on registration, view all the blogs, and as well as provide comments. So here this comment section is there, right? So here I have, as a user, I was able to write any comments, but I had not implemented CAPTCHA over here. So we click on this, it gets saved over here, right? So now what I want in an assignment, go through this entire project that I had created, and before adding the comment to the blog, add a CAPTCHA code over here, which will validate if the CAPTCHA is correct, and then allow to user to post a comment. So with this, we complete the tutorials of adding custom CAPTCHA. And as I mentioned at the start of the project, we also have reCAPTCHA that is designed by Google. If you want, I can also create a video on how to implement reCAPTCHA in our ASP.NET application. So guys, with this, I complete this tutorial. I hope it was informative and you like this video. Please do subscribe my channel. Please do share my channel link with your friends, family and colleague, and help us to grow this channel so that it reaches to maximum of our developer community. Thank you so much for your time.